to meet you. I'm going to chat a bit about my journey to how I got here and what I've been doing. I feel incredibly fortunate because I feel like, on reflecting about my life, I've always got to do what I enjoy doing. And I know that's really rare, and I'm lucky that I'm able to make a living doing what I'm passionate about. And I've changed what I've been passionate about over the years, and I've still managed to always somehow or other make a living from it. So I know that I'm very, very fortunate. I'm so grateful for that. There it is. I'm born in 1970. My dad was from Dagenham. He was one of 13, working class, and my mum was a Geordie. Neither of them are very creative particularly. I think my dad ended up being a science teacher. My mum was a maths teacher. And they encouraged me and my sister to really follow our dreams. So the things I was into as a kid, I absolutely loved gymnastics. I spent half my childhood doing headstands up against the wall, whilst the other part of my childhood was I was playing the violin. Neither of my parents could play music, but they believed in encouraging us to do whatever we showed interest in. And because I had a particularly good ear, and I could play by ear, and I think I had perfect pitch, but didn't know what that was at the time, I ended up following a route to music college. And I ended up going to the Royal Northern College of Music in Manchester for 5 years. I then followed that with a teacher training, and I seemed to had this fear about going to get a proper job. I just didn't, even though I'd been studying for years, I just knew that if I went and got a paid job, I'd never do anything interesting in my life. So I decided to put that on hold, and I applied to VSO, Voluntary Services Overseas, and got several options of countries to go to, and I chose Cambodia, which was really interesting. I worked in Phnom Penh for a couple of years, and then came back to Brighton and taught music for 14 years. Taught violin, and I taught whole school music. And that was really enjoyable. I was working with lots of kids. I used to love composing, and it was very fulfilling. In 2002, I illustrated a kids' book for my sister's kids. I was 32, so I was quite old then. Let me think. I think that's it. Prior to that, I'm ad-libbing because I'm not going to use my script. I think the turning point in my life was I lost my dad at quite a young age, and I remember when he died, I was single and I was childless, and I was teaching. I was quite enjoying it. And a week before he died of a sudden heart attack. He came to visit me, and he said, "You could sell your art one day, and I think you'll be a good mum." And that kind of must have sown a seed in my head, because I decided after that I will probably do those things one day, or I didn't know how long it would take, but I kind of thought, those words have always been in my head. The other thing is, because he died quite young, he had never had the life that he wanted. He was always going to retire early and travel around the world. He'd saved up lots of money from teaching and everything. He'd climbed the ladder. And he was also going to buy this derelict run-down house opposite. And his dream was to renovate this old house. Well, his dream never happened. And I kind of said to myself there and then, I'm going to make sure that I have the best life I can now, because I'm not going to postpone it to when I'm retired, because that might not ever happen. So I'm sure that really did affect the choice of my choices after that.